Title: Recreating Rikers Island Jail Meals. Why Prison Food is So Unhealthy. Help this channel grow. Like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more stories. This helps us a lot. Thank you. The story begins. Feeding a city behind bars. Rikers Island sits in the East River, just out of sight of Manhattan's skyline. For decades, it has been one of the most talked about jail complexes in the United States, known for overcrowding, aging infrastructure, and systemic strain. But beyond the headlines about violence or reform, there is a quieter, daily reality that affects every person held there. Food. 3 meals a day. Every day. For thousands of people. Unlike prisons that house long-term inmates, Rikers is a jail. Most people inside are awaiting trial, serving short sentences, or moving through the system. This constant turnover creates a unique challenge. Meals must be fast, cheap, repeatable, and scalable. Nutrition, variety, and quality become secondary concerns. Food at Rikers is not designed to rehabilitate. It is designed to function. The city of New York is legally required to provide meals that meet minimum nutritional standards. Calories must be sufficient. Allergies must be accommodated. Religious diets must be considered where possible. But the law does not require food to be fresh, enjoyable, or healthy in the long term. That distinction matters. When you examine jail food systems across the U.S., one pattern repeats. The cheaper the meal, the more processed it becomes. Rikers Island is no exception. Reports over the years, from oversight bodies, advocacy groups, and even city officials, have consistently described meals dominated by refined carbohydrates, processed meats, high sodium content, and limited fresh produce. This is not accidental. It is structural. Rikers serves tens of thousands of meals every single day. Fresh ingredients spoil quickly. Whole foods require labor-intensive preparation. Highly processed foods, on the other hand, are stable, predictable, and cheap. They can be shipped in bulk, stored for long periods, reheated, and served with minimal staff. From a logistics perspective, processed food solves problems. From a health perspective, it creates them. A typical day's menu may include white bread, pasta, rice, processed meat patties, canned vegetables, and sweetened beverages. Fresh fruit is limited. Vegetables are often overcooked or canned, reducing nutritional value. Protein sources frequently rely on soy blends or reconstituted meats rather than whole cuts. For someone eating this way occasionally, the impact may be small. For someone eating this way for months or years, the consequences add up. High sodium intake is one of the most documented concerns. Processed meals rely heavily on salt for preservation and flavor. Excess sodium is linked to hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and kidney strain, conditions that are already common among incarcerated populations. Sugar is another quiet presence. Sweetened drinks, desserts, and refined carbs spike blood glucose while offering little nutritional benefit. Combined with inactivity and stress, this diet contributes to weight gain, fatigue, and metabolic issues. Fiber, fresh vegetables, and healthy fats are often lacking. But the most important thing to understand is this. The food is not meant to be bad. It is meant to be sufficient. Jail meals are engineered to hit numerical targets, calories, basic nutrients, at the lowest possible cost. Taste, enjoyment, and long-term health outcomes are not part of the equation. When budgets tighten, food quality is often one of the first areas affected because it is less visible than staffing or security. For many people inside Rikers, meals become a daily reminder of powerlessness. You do not choose what you eat. You do not choose when you eat. If you miss a meal due to court transport, lockdowns, or administrative delays, it is often gone. This lack of choice matters psychologically as much as physically. Food is one of the most basic forms of autonomy. When it is reduced to a bland, repetitive experience, it reinforces the feeling of being warehoused rather than cared for. Over time, this contributes to stress, resentment, and disengagement. To cope, many detainees turn to the commissary. If you have money, or family who can send it, you can buy instant noodles, chips, cookies, candy, and shelf-stable snacks. These items offer flavor and variety, but they are often even less healthy than the standard meals. High sodium, high sugar, low nutrition. Food becomes currency. Flavor becomes privilege. Those without commissary funds must rely entirely on the standard meals, regardless of health needs or preferences. This creates an invisible divide inside the jail, between those who can supplement their diet and those who cannot. Public scrutiny of Rikers' food system has grown in recent years, especially as conversations about jail conditions and reform have intensified. Lawsuits and reports have alleged spoiled food, undercooked meals, and inconsistent quality. City officials have acknowledged problems, promising oversight and improvements. Yet the core structure remains unchanged. As long as Rikers operates at scale under budget pressure and as a short-term holding facility, its food will reflect those priorities. 2. Stable. Adequate, but rarely healthy. Because when food is reduced to a line item, the body becomes one too. And when meals are designed only to keep someone alive, not well, the long-term cost doesn't disappear. It simply leaves the jail with the people who pass through it. In the next chapter, we'll take a closer look at what these meals actually look like on the tray, and why recreating them reveals just how far they are from healthy eating. Inside the tray, what Rikers Island serves. When you first see a tray from Rikers Island, it can be startling, not because it is dramatic, but because it is ordinary. Meals are served on plastic trays divided into compartments. Each tray holds a complete day's single meal, a main protein, a starch, a vegetable, and often a dessert or beverage. But while the portions may look adequate at first glance, the details tell a very different story. The main protein is almost always a processed item. Chicken patties, ground beef blends, or fish sticks dominate the menu. These are industrially produced, pre-cooked, and packaged for longevity. They meet the minimum protein requirements, but their nutritional quality is low. Protein may be highly refined or mixed with fillers to cut costs. Flavor tends to be uniform, relying on salt or oil to provide palatable taste. Any subtlety of seasoning or variety is absent. Every bite is predictable. Starch comes in equally processed forms. White bread, rice, macaroni, or mashed potatoes, often made from dehydrated flakes, comprise the bulk of the calories. Whole grains are rare. Refined carbohydrates dominate because they are cheap, shelf-stable, and provide energy quickly. But these calories lack fiber, which is essential for digestion and satiety. Over time, a diet dominated by refined starches can contribute to digestive issues, spikes in blood sugar, and chronic fatigue. Vegetables exist, but they are often overcooked, canned, or frozen. The range of options is narrow: peas, corn, green beans, or carrots. Fresh vegetables, rich in vitamins and minerals, appear infrequently. When they do, they may be overcooked to the point that their nutritional value has been diminished. Colorful presentation is unnecessary. The goal is preservation, not appeal. Desserts or sweet items are typically prepackaged cookies, pudding cups, or sweetened drinks. They are high in sugar and low in nutrition, designed to provide calories and a small morale boost rather than health benefits. Coffee, if offered, is weak and often powdered. Milk, if included, is typically low-fat and fortified but minimal in quantity. One striking feature of these meals is portion consistency. Each tray is measured to meet legal standards for calories and macronutrients. There is little variation, and no adjustment for individual health needs beyond basic allergies or religious requirements. Every detainee receives the same meal, regardless of age, body size, activity level, or personal preference. Recreating these meals outside the jail highlights how far removed they are from what most people consider normal or healthy food. For example, a chicken patty that appears small and dry in isolation is actually engineered to deliver around 15 grams of protein. But the same patty may contain 20 to 25% sodium, with added preservatives and fillers. It is edible, but it is not wholesome. The starch portion compounds the problem. White bread sandwiches or instant rice provide quick energy, but they are low in fiber and micronutrients. Over time, a diet dominated by refined starches can lead to chronic digestive issues, energy crashes, and long-term metabolic problems. Even vegetables, though present, are often nutritionally inadequate. A half cup of overcooked peas offers minimal vitamins or minerals. Canned corn may be high in sodium and low in nutrients. The flavor is muted, and the visual appeal is minimal, creating a psychological perception that the meal is less than a real meal. Sweeteners and desserts are not mere indulgences. In many cases, they are the only source of micronutrients like vitamin D, added via fortified pudding cups or milk. But the sugar content is high, which can lead to blood sugar spikes, cravings, and long-term metabolic consequences. Another consideration is meal timing. Rikers serves meals on a strict schedule. Breakfast may be early morning, lunch midday, and dinner in the late afternoon. Snacks are limited to what detainees can purchase from the commissary. Long gaps between meals, combined with low fiber and high sugar content, can cause rapid hunger, overeating at the next meal, and fluctuating energy levels. Eating becomes a cycle of spikes and crashes, rather than steady nutrition. Hydration is also a concern. Water is provided, but beverages often include sweetened drinks or low-fat milk. High sugar content, combined with processed food, creates additional metabolic strain. Sodium-rich meals increase thirst, and limited options mean detainees often rely on sugar-laden beverages to quench it. Recreating these meals for educational purposes highlights another issue: taste versus nutrition. On the first bite, the chicken patty may taste fine. The starch is familiar. But by the second or third bite, the limitations become clear. The meal feels dense, heavy, and lacking in complexity. It provides energy but not satisfaction. The sweetness in desserts is fleeting. What the body receives is calories and minimal nutrients. What the mind experiences is monotony. One of the most revealing aspects of these recreated meals is the psychological impact. Humans are wired to enjoy variety, texture, and flavor. When every meal is processed, bland, or repetitive, it can reduce appetite, affect mood, and reinforce feelings of confinement. Nutrition is not only chemical, it is experiential. In Rikers, meals do not stimulate comfort or delight. They simply fill a requirement. To put it bluntly, these meals keep detainees alive, but they do not contribute to long-term health or well-being. Chronic conditions like hypertension, diabetes, and heart disease are common among incarcerated populations, and diet is a significant factor. The repeated consumption of high-sodium, low-fiber, low-nutrient meals accelerates these risks. Despite these challenges, staff and cooks do their best within constraints. Many meals are prepared in large-scale kitchens with limited time, staff, and equipment. Safety, sanitation, and efficiency are priorities. Taste and nutrition, while desired, often take a back seat. Reform efforts have tried to introduce healthier options, more fresh produce, lower sodium recipes, and alternative proteins. But progress is slow because scaling high-quality meals for thousands of people daily is expensive and logistically difficult. The takeaway is clear: Rikers' food system is designed for function, not health. It reflects broader truths about incarceration in the United States. Cost efficiency, risk management, and system-wide control often outweigh individual well-being. Eating inside a jail is not about pleasure or learning. It is about survival and routine. In the next chapter, we will explore a recreation and taste test of these meals, showing the contrast between perception and reality, and how experiencing them firsthand illustrates why prison food is not only unappealing but fundamentally unhealthy. Through this hands-on experiment, viewers can see and understand why diet in incarceration matters, not just for immediate consumption but for long-term health outcomes. Recreating and tasting Rikers Island meals. To truly understand the food served at Rikers Island, you have to experience it. Reading about processed meat, overcooked vegetables, and sugar-laden desserts only conveys part of the story. The sensory experience, the sight, smell, and taste, reveals the full impact of institutional food systems. Recreating a Rikers meal begins with research. Menus from the jail, public reports, and testimonies from former detainees provide a blueprint. Typical breakfast might include white toast or an English muffin, margarine, a powdered beverage, and sometimes a fruit cup or sweetened cereal. Lunch and dinner center on a main protein, often a pre-cooked chicken patty or beef blend, paired with a starch and a vegetable. Dessert or sweetened beverages round out the tray. In our recreation, we sourced ingredients that mirrored the processed, shelf-stable items used in the jail. White bread was simple and soft. Frozen or canned vegetables were boiled or steamed. Chicken patties were reconstituted according to nutritional labels, and dessert was a pre-packaged pudding cup. The goal was to match not just the food items, but the texture, portion, and flavor profile reported by inmates and observers. The first observation is immediately visual. Trays look functional, not inviting. Compartments separate each item. The colors are muted. Greens are dull, starch is pale, and desserts uniform. There is no garnish, no aroma to awaken the appetite, no hint of freshness. The meal communicates a message: this is sustenance, not indulgence. Taste testing is revealing. The chicken patty, while technically cooked, is dense and flavorless except for salt and oil. The starches are bland, occasionally gummy from overcooking or moisture loss. Vegetables are soft and unappealing, lacking both crunch and flavor. The pudding is sweet but artificial in taste. Taken together, the meal satisfies calories but fails almost every other measure of nutrition or enjoyment. Texture and mouthfeel matter more than we often realize. In this recreation, the monotony of texture was striking. Everything is soft, uniform, and lacks contrast. This contributes to a psychological perception of blandness and monotony. Meals do not engage the senses, which can reduce appetite, impact digestion, and create a negative relationship with food. The nutritional analysis reinforces the sensory experience. Sodium content is high across every component. Calories are sufficient, but fiber, healthy fats, and micronutrients are minimal. Sugar is concentrated in dessert and beverages. The overall dietary pattern is energy-dense but nutrient-poor. While it keeps the body functioning, it leaves the mind undernourished. Beyond the immediate taste and nutrition, the recreation highlights a larger systemic issue: the prioritization of efficiency over health. Rikers Island serves thousands of meals daily. To manage costs, preserve food, and reduce labor, processed and packaged items dominate. The system is effective in meeting legal requirements, but it produces meals that are inherently unhealthy over time. The taste test also exposes the limits of human adaptation. Eating one of these meals occasionally may not cause harm, but the cumulative effect of consuming processed, high-sodium, low-nutrient food daily can be significant. Studies of incarcerated populations show elevated rates of hypertension, obesity, and metabolic disorders, conditions directly linked to dietary intake. The recreation makes this connection tangible, transforming abstract statistics into experiential understanding. Psychology plays a role as well. Meals that are monotonous, bland, or artificial affect mood, energy, and satisfaction. During the recreation, it was noticeable how quickly interest in the meal faded. Eating became a mechanical act, devoid of pleasure. In a real jail environment, where stress and confinement are constant, this lack of food satisfaction can compound psychological strain. The experience also highlights the role of commissary and personal food choices inside the jail. Individuals with access to supplemental snacks, instant noodles, chips, candy, and beverages, experience a stark contrast. Flavor, variety, and calorie density shift dramatically. For those without commissary funds, standard trays remain the only option, underscoring disparities in food access and experience within the same institution. Recreating the meals offers another lesson: perception versus reality. Many outside the system imagine prison meals as torturous or inedible. The reality is more nuanced. The food is edible, meets minimal nutritional needs, and serves its functional purpose. Yet when compared to healthy, balanced diets, the limitations become clear. The body may survive on these meals, but long-term health suffers. Documenting this recreation also provides an opportunity for public education. People often overlook how food systems and institutional settings shape health outcomes. The Rikers example demonstrates that diet is more than calories. It is a combination of nutrition, variety, timing, and accessibility. Highlighting these factors can inform both public understanding and reform efforts. The takeaway is not only about critique, it is about learning. By recreating and analyzing meals, viewers see why long-term reliance on processed, high-sodium, low-fiber food is harmful. They also understand the structural challenges jails face in feeding large populations with limited resources. Solutions are possible, but they require investment, planning, and prioritization of inmate health over cost alone. Finally, the recreation underscores a universal principle: food matters. Even in the most restrictive environments, diet affects energy, mood, health, and perception of well-being. What may seem like a minor detail, soft, overcooked peas or a bland chicken patty, is actually a powerful signal of the institution's priorities. Meals are part of daily life, shaping the experience of incarceration as much as walls, bars, or schedules. In conclusion, Rikers Island's meals are emblematic of the broader challenges of institutional food. They are functional, cost-effective, and sufficient to meet basic caloric and nutritional standards. Yet they fall short in promoting health, satisfaction, and dignity. Experiencing them firsthand, through recreation and taste testing, reveals both their adequacy and their limitations. For viewers, the lesson is clear. Institutional food systems are rarely optimized for long-term health. They are designed to sustain, not nourish. Recognizing this allows us to approach conversations about incarceration, nutrition, and reform with clarity. It reminds us that even in restrictive environments, food matters, not just for survival but for human well-being.